ரொம்ப excited இருக்கேன். But also filmmaking is really tough. It's not easy to make a movie because when someone like Kamal sir calls you and says, we want you to do a movie, you say yes. First of all, he's a man who has done so much for Indian cinema. I've produced. So I've not directed it though. So, direction I think is a whole nother skill set. Husband and wives, they kiss and they hug and, that's what life is. Yes. Are you trying to create the... No, I'm just kidding. No. Look, Kamal sir's production house is very professional. As an actor, we cry for work. We'll die for it.
Little bit. So how do you overcome
I'm trying to learn.
So how do you overcome that?
Look, I'm trying to learn. I'm starting to take... நான் பேச முயற்சி பண்றேன். The itch and the a, e, u, and all that, and the nya, and the nya. Like all the letters, please sir, can I just do one dance? He's like, look, I hope he doesn't. I mean, he has said, I think, that he's going to do less, but I hope he doesn't. I hope that statement is not right.
வணக்கம் மேம்.
வணக்கம். எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
I'm fine மேம். நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நல்லா இருக்கேன். நன்றி.
நானும் நல்லா இருக்கேன்னு தான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன் உங்ககிட்ட. So how is this whole Vishwaroom to Aura?
ரொம்ப excited இருக்கேன். And I think it's exciting also for the people because they've been waiting, for so long for the movie. And we're finally going to see all of our hard work paid off because even we wanted to show the movie a long time ago, but because of certain issues, I think with the producer and all of that, they had to hold off on it. But I think it's a great time. It's like perfect weather. I think it's perfect. Like everything, I think is all going to fall into place. Hopefully, touch wood.
So the first part had some issues while it got released, and the second part got delayed so much. So as an actor, was it like frustrating for you?
Look, we work so hard on the movie, and we love the characters that we play. So yes, we don't want it to get delayed. And we make movies because we want people to see our emotions, which we experienced at that time, right? So we want to do it as quickly as possible. But of course, there's a business side to it, and we don't want to, stop that part. But also filmmaking is really tough. It's not easy to make a movie. You've got to you're doing the script, then you do the final touches on the script, then you do pre-production, then you do production, then you do post-production, then you do the marketing, and then you do distribution. So usually a film, I would say, is like a 2-year process, minimum. So in this, over 5 years, he's made 2 movies. So actually, it's not that long if you actually look at it. But yes, it's we want it to be out there as soon as we can because we want to share, all of that with the audience.
In between, you haven't had many projects between Vishwaroom 1 and Vishwaroom 2. So why is that? Are you being very choosy? Or?
No, I did Uttama Villain, I did PSV Garuda Vega, I did Meen Kurumba Manpaniyam. I did a film called Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn.
But it's still
Don
not
Johnson.
many films.
I do one film a year, because I am one person who really likes to take their time with the movies. And I also feel, you need time to kind of get out of the character. You're engrossed in that character. You're in those, in that time for like 3 to 4 months. So you need time to kind of get out of that character, go back to your regular life, and then go on to the next movie. So you need that much amount of time. Plus, I'm working between India and America. So, the travel also takes place and, the time also changes. So you've got to give time, for the adapting to both the places also.
Do you follow like the method acting process or something like that?
I would say I'm a combination. I go with method, but I also follow certain technical, like, with Meisner techniques and Stanislavski and Chekhov. I kind of just combine all of them because, you never know what's going to happen on set. You may not know the language, which I didn't know. You may not know your co-stars, right? So, usually when you're doing a movie and your co-star is your love interest, you get time to spend time with them or you go have a coffee or you talk about what the film is about. In this case, I arrived and the next day I'm shooting. Okay. I didn't know the character, I didn't know the story, I didn't know anything because when someone like Kamal sir calls you and says, we want you to do a movie, you say yes. There's no questions asking in this case. So then you have to rely on your sort of technical techniques, that you have and use that to make the character interesting.
So you were still being you in that character, or did you manage to learn something else?
I think, Nirupama, you probably have seen, is a little bit like me. Like, she's a little naive and she's a little modern. So maybe that's why Kamal sir cast me, because maybe in real life I'm kind of like that. So her character is also like that. But in this, what I did learn was that I'm playing a Brahminical girl from a Brahmin family. So I didn't know much about it. So I did a little bit of research, and then I asked Sir for guidance because he comes from that background. And so that's what I wanted to grab, those nuances, and then also bring in the fact that she lived in America, in New York, for so long. So I wanted to bring both of those things into it, and so I took a lot of guidance from him for that.
Actor Abhirami dubbed for you.
Yes,
so
yes.
you met with her and you spoke to her?
We met only after she dubbed.
Okay.
And I loved it. I was like, oh, wow. It sounds like me.
So as an actor, how were you before Vishwarupam 1 and how are you after Vishwarupam 2?
My God, I hope I'm better.
Okay.
I feel better about my acting.
So your personal takeaways from the experience?
I mean, working with Sir, I don't know, there's not enough words to say. First of all, he's a man who has done so much for Indian cinema, not only for Tamil cinema, but Indian cinema. And that's something that we should admire. And also, I get inspired by him. After working with Sir, what I learned about acting was that I was always about the character. I was like, okay, what's the character's background? Where do they go? All of these different things, physicalities of the character, emotional upbringing of the character. Where was she born? What did she do? All of these things. And in this case, I played nuclear oncologist. She's not just a housewife. And then she just marries this man and uses him to come to America. And then, so basically, she's a user. I mean, and he's using her, right? Because she's just this person that he doesn't really need in his life. He's just using. So they're kind of using each other, in the beginning. And then they slowly see that, wow, we actually do have feelings for each other by the end of part 1. And that's what I learned from this whole process was that, looking at the movie as a whole, since Sir comes from, his training has been as a dance choreographer, and then he always wanted to be a filmmaker. And so I never thought about the movie as a whole. And I think I've seen now the beginning, middle, end of the story. I see all the characters that have all these different objectives in the movie. And now I've seen the whole thing as a process. And I think that's maybe helped me as an actor. So I hope I'm better now.
So you have plans to direct a film?
In 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Down the line, yeah. I'm not ready because I've just now thought about the film as a whole. And I'm thinking about the film as a whole to get my acting better, actually. I wasn't even thinking about it as a director.
But you have produced a short film, isn't it?
I've produced. Yeah. So I've not directed it, though. So, direction, I think, is a whole nother skill set. Producing also has its own skill set. I'm more like a creative producer. I like talking about stories and different, ways that we can portray our emotions. So I have always thought about me as a creative person as a whole, but never thought of me as a director. So I wanted people to come together. I wanted to create more content, for South Asians because we're becoming so popular internationally, and now's the time for that because we have so many distribution avenues. So I wanted to be more of like a creative producer. Okay. So when I get more skills, maybe I'll direct.
But comparatively, if you compare the other film industries in India, Tamil here is a bit conservative. So featuring in some intimate scenes is a big deal here.
Yes.
So what's your personal take on it?
Look, I go with the character, and I also think if the scene is required for, they are husband wife in this movie, and then we've got to see someplace we have to see where these characters are going in the movie. It can't just be that they are these selfish people. We have to see them transform. They've got to go to an end place. And the only place that they can go from is not loving each other to loving each other, right? And we have to see that in an authentic and real way. Husband and wives, they kiss and they hug, and that's what life is. And I also think Sir knows how to do it, in a very authentic and loving way. If you see all of his scenes when their female characters are involved, or when you see the female characters in him, it's so beautifully done. You're falling in love with both of them. And that's what he wants to show.
Every actor who acts with Kamal Haasan shares this experience that he have learned. But what are the things you have unlearned from him?
Unlearning was that you come into the scene, have certain things set in your mind, throw them all out the door. Like when you work with Sir, I think you have to come in with an open mind. He wants you to do your homework, obviously, but not be so adamant, in your thinking, and you have to do it this way and come in that way. So I came from the school of be prepared, and have everything set, because that's just how we do it in the West. But then he was like, okay, fine, you've done all that. Now just feel it, and let all of that go, and then just, adapt to your situation. Because even when he's shooting, sometimes there's no electricity, or there's too much of a crowd, or we didn't get this car, or this bomb didn't come, or some sort of difficulties you have with shooting, which is in every movie all over the world. So you have to be able to sort of adapt and then understand very quickly.
So you have worked in America, you have worked in Hollywood, but the work environment here will be totally different. So it is like you are coming out of your comfort zone and working here. So how did you manage all those things?
Look, Kamal Sir's production house is very professional. He's worked in America quite a bit. They operate pretty much the same as they do in America. There's a call sheet, which means, the set timing of what we're shooting that day. He arrives on time. And we start on time. And so there wasn't really much difference. I think the only difference that I would say is culturally. I couldn't understand, some of the people, what they were saying, which is fine. But he made it feel very, secure that we're making a movie and you're part of our family, which is, I think, what Raj Kamal does.
So you have made this your comfort zone now, kind of?
I don't know if it's my comfort zone.
Okay.
I mean, it's comforting in the sense of, like, we've worked, all of us have worked with Sir in, like, 3 movies. Andrew and I both have. So we've learned so much from him on how to be a professional, on how to, interpret scripts, on so many things I've learned. But he's made it a place where we can create, and make things, for cinema. So, I mean that way, in, like, a comfort place where you can come and work and create things.
So you have stayed with this crew like for last 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
So now we have to take off and go to another set of crew.
New people.
Yeah,
that's with any movie, right? Like I've done already 30.
So does it feel like strange that since you are going out of this?
No, I don't think so, because as an actor we cry for work. We'll die for it. So I welcome. I mean, all the movies. I mean, any more scripts and directors I would love to work with, just because I think we have an opportunity, and now because films are being seen all over the world, and it's really important for us to be authentic to our stories. And that's also something where I've seen with Sir, that he's so truthful about his stories, and I'm getting inspired by him, because I've said this over and over again, I really want Tamil cinema to go international. Okay. And I really want people outside to see Tamil cinema, because there's so many interesting stories. So that's one of my goals.
So do you think, apart from few filmmakers here, so the rest of the filmmakers, are they doing pan-Indian content?
I don't know. I think some of them are. I think it's the way you interpret your script. It all depends on the story and what you want to do, right? Every filmmaker has their voice and how they want to showcase a story. But yes, I do think it's expanding. I don't think before, I would say 5 years ago, were they thinking on international levels? I don't think so. I think now, because we can have internet, phone, iPad, so many places where you can see it, so now the filmmakers are also writing those stories because there's a place for them to be seen. It's still tough. It's not easy, but I think now it's more opportunity.
So apart from the cultural difference, you also have a language problem.
A little bit.
Little bit. So how do you overcome that?
I'm trying to learn.
So how do you overcome that?
Look, I'm trying to learn. I'm starting to take நான் பேச முயற்சி பண்றேன்.
It's fine.
And I'm learning the ik, the ich, and the a, e, u, and all that, and the nya, and the nya, like all the letters. So I'm trying to cope up with it.
You are a trained classical dancer, but except for a small part in Uttama Villain, you haven't had a full-stretch dance sequence. So is it like frustrating to not to do a thing that you are good at?
Yes. I mean, I was like telling Sir, like, please, sir, can I just do one dance? He's like, look, I just don't put them in there.
I am the dancer here.
No, he didn't say that. He said, I just don't put in songs for the sake of putting it in. There has to be a reason why it's there. I said, okay, fine. So I didn't push it any more than that. But yeah, I hope I can. I really would like to do some dancing and some dance numbers because I think they're fun to do, number one. Number two, I think we've got great songs, such great musicians we have from India. And Jibran has given such great music for the movie too. So yeah, let's see.
So do you envy seeing others dance to songs?
I do envy them. Some of the dances, okay. Not all of them.
So because they are not dancers.
Are you trying to create the... No, I'm just kidding. No. Some of them are very talented dancers, there's no doubt. But some of the dances, I'm not so sure I could do that because I don't know how they make sense. Some of the songs. Okay. But yes, I would love to do it.
Okay. You pursued your college education in politics, right? So do you follow Tamil Nadu's political scenario?
I don't know a lot about Indian politics. I know some of the people who are in positions. Obviously, I know the Prime Minister. Know him, but I know how government works. But I don't know politics as far as how it works in India. I know more about America, obviously. I need to study up more over here. Okay. So, yeah.
So, Mr. Kamal is entering into politics.
Yeah.
So, do you know that? So,
I do, yes,
so
I do know.
Talk to him about it?
I mean, he has spoken about it, and first of all, I tell him, please, I want you to do more movies. Like, you have to direct more movies.
He's also quitting films for politics.
I hope he doesn't. I mean, he has said, I think, that he's going to do less, but I hope he doesn't. I hope that statement is not right. Look, I think Sir has done 50 years of service in Indian cinema. So him to make this transition is not surprising to me. And I hope he does, really well because it is a position that takes a lot of responsibility. And I think if anyone understands people, I think he does. Through his cinema, through all the people that he's worked with. I mean, he's worked in 5 different languages. I mean, if anyone knows how people are and what they need and what the sentiments are, I think he does. But we have to see. I mean, we have to see what policies he has in mind. What is he going to do for the people? We have to see all of these things, and the people have to love him,
Since you know that American political scene, I'm just asking this question.
Yeah.
So, we have a long list of people who were actors and they have
became
politicians.
Yes.
So, but basically, they also receive a criticism that they must stick to acting and shouldn't enter politics.
Shouldn't enter.
So, how is the scenario in America? So, do the people criticize every actor who was coming to politics, or do they just accept?
I think it depends on the economy. Over there, it was like if the economy is great, then they're happy.
Okay.
The only people that I've seen, Ronald Reagan was an actor, and the other person who came into that was Arnold Schwarzenegger. He became the governor.
Yeah.
But he wasn't he wasn't the president or anything, but he was the governor. I feel like it's almost a position because it's based on people, right? And politics is more for the service of people, and cinema is for the entertainment for the people. So it's like almost hand in hand, right? Because you're doing something for others. But no, they don't make fun of it over there at all. They welcome people who want to do something, for the people, just like here.
Okay.
Government and politics is the same in every country, right? It's about the people. It's about how you can govern them and what you're going to do and what services you're going to provide for them so that they can become prosperous. I mean, that's the whole point of why we have governance.
What's due after Vishwarubam 2? How are you looking forward?
So I have a couple scripts that have come my way, so I'm going to read them and then decide. I'm not signed anything. No, okay, I'm not in any rush because I want to take my time to see what I want to do. I also like to take my time because I'm like a creative person. So I want to create also projects that can bridge Tamil cinema and American sensibility. Like I really want that bridge to come together. So I'm trying to put some co-productions together and collaborations. So hopefully that'll come through with all of your support.
Okay, so all the best for Vishwarubam 2 and your other collaborations.
Thank you.
And your Tamil.
And my Tamil. I do need luck with that. Please, thank you.
Thank you.
Vanakkam.